We recently reviewed the Anker Soundcore Liberty 5 and found that these are pretty good earbuds for the price. You can get them for $129. But for $30 less, you could also just get the older Liberty 4NC. But you're probably wondering, what's the difference between the two, besides the name and the price? Well, in this video, I'm actually gonna put both of these earbuds head to head to see which one is right for you. Starting with design and comfort, which is the better pick in this department? Well, honestly, I'm gonna give it to the new kid on the block, the Liberty 5. After using both of these earbuds, I found that the Liberty 5 just felt a little bit more comfortable because the bulb on the actual earbuds themselves were just a little smaller and fit my ear better, whereas the earbuds on the Liberty 4NC were just slightly too big for my ears. Your results may vary depending on your own ear anatomy. I just find that the Liberty 5 fits much more snug and not too tight in my ears. The charging case is also just a little bit thinner, which makes it easier to fit into my pockets. And the Liberty 5 is also more durable. It sports an IP55 water and dust resistance rating, whereas the Liberty 4NC only sports IPX4. Both of these will be fine for a workout, but if you're planning to take your earbuds on a dusty hike, then you're probably going to want to reach for something like the Liberty 5. When it comes to connection options, the Liberty 5 also takes the crown in this department. It's using the newer Bluetooth 5.4 standard, whereas the Liberty 4NC is using Bluetooth 5.3. However, both of these earbuds do support SBC, AAC, and the higher quality LDAC codec for high quality streaming over Bluetooth. Now, realistically, will you notice a significant difference in connection performance between the two earbuds? Probably not, especially on day-to-day use. Technically, Bluetooth 5.4 does get you better range, so if you find yourself often walking away, far away from your source device, maybe you'll notice a difference between the two, but overall, you're gonna be fine connection-wise with these buds. However, if we are nitpicking, yeah, the point technically goes to the Liberty 5 here. It's newer. Now, when it comes to app features, because they're both, because these are both Anker earbuds, they both use the Soundcore app for its extra software functionality. And the good news is that they have access to pretty much the same features. With both of these earbuds, you get things like the Hear ID sound test, customizable EQ, ambient sound controls, and virtual surround sound. However, the Liberty 5 does have a few software tricks up its sleeve that are not available with the 4NC. For example, the Liberty 5 uses Dolby Audio for its spatial audio implementation. And based on my listening experience, I actually found that Dolby Audio sounded better than Anker's own 3D surround sound feature. I just felt that there was more clarity in stringed instruments and it wasn't as bass heavy as Anker's implementation. It kind of reminded me of the Dolby Atmos experience on something like the Sonos Ace. Also, with the Liberty 5, you get something called in-call sound awareness. Other earbuds or headphones might call this side tone, where the earbuds essentially switch to transparency mode so you can better hear yourself while you're taking calls. And with the Liberty 5, you can actually toggle this feature on or off in the app, whereas with the Liberty 4NC, you can't toggle that feature in the app. Moving on, let's take a look at battery life. Which one lasts longer on a single charge? Well, according to our standardized battery test, the Liberty 5 was able to last 7 hours, 8 minutes with ANC on, whereas the Liberty 4NC lasted 9 hours and 53 minutes. So it's about 2 to 3 hours longer than the new kid. So if battery life is a priority for you, then yeah, the Liberty 4NC may still be the way to go. In terms of microphone quality, both earbuds sound pretty good. I wouldn't go as far as to say that it's AirPods level mic quality, but it's definitely going to be good enough for taking calls on the go. However, based on our standardized microphone tests, I did find that the Liberty 5 did a better job in preserving vocal clarity in windy conditions. So if you live in a place like, I don't know, Chicago or Vancouver for most of the year. Oh, Vancouver, Canada, by the way. Not Washington. Oh, I hate it here. I'm just kidding. Then yes, go for the Liberty 5. Now, if you want to hear how the microphone on both of these earbuds sound for yourself, then make sure to head over to SoundGuys.com and check out our full suite of standardized microphone tests. All right, now we're getting to the real interesting stuff. Active noise cancellation. Which earbuds cancels out more noise? Well, the answer is Liberty 4NC. I mean, kind of not surprised. It has NC in the name. Now, our tests show that even though these are older, the Liberty 4NC is able to reduce the loudness of outside noise by an average of 84%. And this is great, especially if you want to use your earbuds in loud environments like a busy cafe or during a quick flight. On the other hand, our lab tests show that the Liberty 5 is able to reduce the loudness of outside noise by an average of 76%. Now, this kind of ANC performance is going to be fine for a daily commute or while you're walking down the street. However, it is far from the best and definitely trailing behind the performance of the Liberty 4NC. So if active noise canceling performance is your priority, then yeah, the Liberty 4NC is the winner here. Now you're probably thinking, Harley, I don't care. how do they sound? Well, first of all, calm down. Second of all, these actually sound pretty good and pretty similar to one another. In our lab tests, both these earbuds produced similar frequency responses with some noticeable deviations. For starters, both of these earbuds have an overemphasis in the sub-bass region, which is great if you like bass-heavy music like hard techno, EDM, drum and bass, etc. But it can also be really fatiguing to listen to over long periods, especially if you're not a bass head. The Liberty 5 in particular has an odd dip at around 200 Hz, which can make noises like low piano notes and bass synths sound a little less detailed than you may be used to. However, both the Liberty 5 and the Liberty 4 NC have a bit of a peak in the treble region around 5 to 8 kHz. And this can make cymbals and hi-hats sound a little too shrill, which again, over long periods, can be fatiguing to listen to. Now the good news though is that a lot of these deviations can be addressed by tinkering with the in-app EQ, which again, both of these earbuds have access to. Looking at the multi-dimensional audio quality score, both earbuds scored very closely to each other, with the Liberty 4 NC edging out the Liberty 5 by just a little bit, 0.2 points, in the overall score. Now, with scores as close as these, it's basically safe to say that regardless of which you choose, you're probably gonna enjoy how these earbuds sound out of the box. Now, based on my personal experience, I did prefer the default sound of the Liberty 4 NC. I thought that bass lines, bass guitars, and low piano notes just sounded more detailed here. Again, because it doesn't have that weird 200 Hz dip that we saw on the Liberty 5. Now again, you can remedy some of these sound foibles of the Liberty 5 and the Liberty 4 NC by tinkering with the in-app EQ. However, from my experience, I felt that I had to do less tinkering with the 4NC to get it to sound the way I wanted to. So for that, I'm gonna give the point here to the Liberty 4NC. Finally, price and value for money. I said this earlier, the Liberty 5 is available for $129, whereas the Liberty 4NC, $99. Now, considering everything that we just talked about, and especially considering the fact that the Liberty 4NC has better ANC performance and better default sound quality, I'd actually recommend this to more people over the Liberty 5. However, if you are somebody that finds the Liberty 4 NC just a little too big for their ears just because of the bigger bulb in the design, or if you really want the latest Bluetooth technology, so Bluetooth 5.4, or you're somebody who really likes features like Dolby Audio, then yeah, the newer kid on the block, the Liberty 5, might be the better option. Now, if none of these earbuds floats your boat, or you want to spend even less money, then what if I told you that there's a pair of earbuds that has pretty good sound quality and active noise canceling for about $25 to $30? If that interests you, check out this review of the Moondrop Space Travel. Right here. Right here, I put it right here for you. Yo.